Long ago, in the quiet village of Omateo, nestled between green hills and winding rivers, stood a humble schoolhouse built of cracked bricks and wooden benches. The building wore the dust of time, and its walls echoed with children's chatter and chalk scratches. There, a teacher named Madame Ajoke ruled the classroom. She was known not for kindness or inspiration, but for her sharp tongue and even sharper ruler. She believed fear was discipline, and that respect must be earned through humiliation. To her, students were to be shaped like clay, with force, not nurture. Among her students was a small, quiet boy named Tolu. He was often barefoot, his clothes torn, and his stomach often empty. His mother swept the village market to earn a living, and what little they had was never enough. But in Tolu's eyes lived a quiet spark, a deep hunger for learning, and something even deeper, hope. One morning, as the classroom buzzed with noise and dust, Madame Ajoke called him to the board. "Tolu, come here." He rose nervously from the back bench, clutching his slate. His feet slapped against the dry earth floor as he walked forward, head bowed. His fingers, smudged with charcoal and sweat, trembled as he reached for the chalk. Madame Ajoke clicked her tongue in disgust. "Again, you come with filthy hands," she snapped. "How can knowledge live in such dirt? How can a boy whose mother sweeps the streets ever learn anything meaningful?" The class erupted in laughter. Tolu stood frozen, staring at the board. A single tear slipped down his cheek. He tried to draw a letter, a simple "hey," but his hand shook too much. The line curved awkwardly. "Wrong," she yelled. "Stupid boy. Useless. You'll never be anything." That day, Madame Ajoke didn't just shame a child. She broke something inside him. Yet something else stirred too, a quiet, burning resolve. Years passed, and the world turned as it always does. Tolu left the village carrying nothing but shame, memory, and a stubborn ember in his heart. In the city, he worked as a cleaner, then as a messenger. At night, he studied under candlelight. He starved sometimes, slept on hard floors, and fought back tears more times than he could count. But he never gave up. He learned. He passed exams. He grew. He became not just a student, but a scholar. And in time, he became something no one in Omateo ever imagined. Dr. Talyalo Bamadil, a brilliant trauma surgeon at one of the most respected hospitals in the city of Ibadan. One stormy night, as rain lashed the windows and thunder growled through the sky, a woman was rushed into the emergency room. She had been in a car accident. Her body was bleeding badly. Her ribs were broken. Her condition was critical. Middle-aged female. Spinal trauma. Internal bleeding, the nurse called. Dr. Tolu rushed to the gurney, then froze. The woman on the stretcher, bruised, unconscious, face bloodied, was Madame Ajoke. For a brief moment, he stood still, memories crashing into him like waves. The laughter, the tears, the chalk, the humiliation, and the face of the woman who had once made him feel worthless now lay helpless before him. "Doctor," a nurse said urgently, "should we call someone else?" "No," he replied, steadying his breath. "I'll do it." With hands guided by skill and a heart tested by time, Tolu performed the surgery. It was long, complicated, and it succeeded. The next morning, as sunlight filtered into the recovery room, Madame Ajoke stirred. Her eyes fluttered open. She looked around, dazed, then saw him. "Doctor," she asked, her voice weak. "I'm Dr. Talyalo Bamadil," he said gently. "From Omateo." Her eyes widened. Her lips trembled. "Tolu?" The boy Yes, he said softly. "The boy you once said would be nothing." A silence followed. Heavy, breaking. "I'm sorry," she whispered, voice cracking. "I was wrong. I was cruel. I thought I was teaching, but I was hurting. I judged your poverty when it was my own heart that was poor." He stepped closer and knelt beside her bed. "I forgave you long ago," he said. "Your words broke me, but in that brokenness, I found something strong." Tears streamed from her eyes as she gripped his hand. In that hospital room, healing happened far beyond flesh and bone. It was the healing of history, of wounds unseen. Months later, the people of Omateo witnessed something extraordinary. The once humiliated boy, now a man of healing, returned to the village, not in pride, but in purpose. Beside him stood Madame Ajoke, older, humbler. Together, they opened a free clinic for children. Where once she raised a ruler, she now raised her voice in support. Where once he was mocked, he now brought medicine, hope, and education. The clinic became a sanctuary for the sick, the broken, and the forgotten. One evening, as the sun dipped below the hills and painted the river gold, Tolu and Madame Ajoke sat on a wooden bench, watching children play. "You taught me something," she said quietly. "The true test of a teacher isn't in the words they say, but in the strength of those they teach." He smiled. "And you taught me that scars can become seeds if we learn from them. So remember, dear listener, the hands you wound today may be the ones that hold your life tomorrow. And in the eyes of every quiet, poor child lives a story the world has yet to read. Never underestimate the power of silent dreams."